Well, that kind of sucks. The battery didn't work on the GoPro. Came across my first signal. It'll only be like, an hour of me recording on my phone before I have to just run back to the truck and grab a battery for the GoPro. But here, first signal. So, never been to this beach. And I always say that, when you go to a beach that you don't know, it could be all sanded in, and somebody's just laughing at you. But this is a quarter in a shell area that, look at that, right away. Perfect. So guys, I'm gonna focus for a minute because that's a nickel signal. There's a dime signal, there's another signal, there's a lot of signals, so I want to focus so that I can get some targets in the bag. Guys, all I have to say is holy crap. Watch this transformation, watch this. Not many times of the year where you get to see something this spectacular. Guys, you know what would be so valuable if I had Vermont Derek give me some information on this beach, and then I could have just come to this beach and said, oh yeah, I remember in that video he showed me that there's a hump of sand there and I should go right to there. But knowing what I know about the Bay Area beaches and what happened, this is a similar, we're only 40 miles south of the Bay Area, right up that way. I know kind of what happened to these beaches, right? The big waves just flattened everything out, and it brings all this sand in this level pattern, right? So you can clearly see some sort of like hump going on here, a little bit of like a creased depression going on right there, right? You can see that in the shelly. It's a difference in sand. Okay, you can see some sort of like a depression right about here, but if you look over here, there's humped up and then a kind of a slough at the bottom of these breakers. So I'm familiar with breakers because of Madeira Beach, and it looks like, for me, it looks like it's all washed out. But I just talked to a local and he's like, oh yeah, it moved all this sand in. Well, what's that mean? Does that mean that those breakers get a lot more exposed? Is that a lot of sand in there? So when I come to the beach, it takes me 3 days before I can find the gold, because by the third day you're like, oh, okay, you've narrowed the targets down, you come in, you find some stuff. So I'm here today because I'm meeting somebody here. His name's Ron, and he'll be able to say, oh man, Derek, you're just hunting this big sanded in spot. And remember I said that the locals will laugh at you because they're like, oh, this guy's just hunting whatever. So me, what I do when I get to a beach is I start, I went to the breakers, went to the bottom, found a couple signals at the top. Well, we don't have to worry about the top right now. It's low tide. The rings mostly and the heavies collect at the bottom no matter what. So the odds of you finding like a big chunky gold ring at the bottom are way better than at the top. So you should concentrate on the bottom before the tide comes in. So I just do some sort of W, dime, nickel, dime at the top, and now I'm coming down and now I'm giving you this description of what I'm about to do. So it looks like right there in the middle of the beach, there's what looks like a low spot, a depression, and maybe it's even a corner. And if you guys watch the Gold Finders, Darren Barnes, those guys will take a chopper around an island and then identify 3 or 4 of those spots right there and then hunt that spot, and those guys will pound the gold. So I'm gonna head down the high tide or down this black depression looking line because it looks like there's a lot of sand here, and then cut into that spot right over there. All right, let's try that again. Should I even bother digging up dimes? Well, it'll give you some information though, because if they're green like that, maybe this place hasn't been hunted. So my first of any sound at all, pretty much. It's a 19, most likely a penny. Yes, sir. Penny crusted on a shell. Penny crusted on a shell. $14, $15, $16 in the middle. Heard some negative in there. The stuff's pretty packed too up here or down here. Craziness. Oh, I wouldn't have guessed the bottle cap this morning. Corona. $12.13. Changed. An 11. $11, $12. $10, $11. $12.13, back to a nickel. Sounds like it's out of the hole up here somewhere. Yes, sir. Back to a nickel. Sweet. Very cool. A little bit of information at least. It's right where I thought it should be. It's a chirpy 33 something crazy. And now it's leveling out to a quarter. Sure enough, quarter. Or dime, wow. That's really weird because it was a really chirpy craziness. I mean, it was chirpy. I wouldn't have guessed a dime, that's for sure. It was like a 33 something and then it leveled out to 30. So I never would have guessed a dime. So I found like the nickel coin line, like Ron just said everybody's hunting like coin shooting. They're quarter shooting, but if they're leaving the 13s, they're not buying in any gold rings, not with the Equinox. found a Canadian coin a minute ago. Alright guys, I'm back at the truck. I am just changed the big coil to the 11-inch coil. I'm heading in the water, so we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. Putting the waterproof headphones on. Most likely bottle cap, but I haven't had any sounds at all. Oh, it's just like a packed shell mass right here, bud. Piece of copper. So that, guys, is Ron Lord. I came down to see what the legend looked like. See if I can learn from him. I don't mind ever learning from somebody as good as he is. Pleasure meeting you, Ron. Guys, so I plugged my machine in last night, noticed the light was flashing green, and then thought nothing of it. And this morning, as I unplugged it, it was still flashing green, and that was, I don't know, I got 5 hours sleep last night, 4.5 hours sleep. And it should charge in 4.5 hours. So I was a little suspect. I didn't really think about it. Thought, you know, what's the worst that could happen is I have 2 bars. I got down here and sure enough I had 2 bars. And I'm not sure if that large coil uses more power or not. But I'm at 1 bar. And I'd rather not be at 1 bar right now. Seeing that it's a 50-minute drive from the house to be here. There's a really good 12. Guys, so I put my, oh, that quick shiny gold in there was just so pretty. I put my coil in the hole so that you don't lose the hole, so it doesn't fill in so fast. Like when you scoop once and you might not have it, a lot of times you can't find the hole again, and the target might be covered. So I was watching Brandon, Mr. Detectorist, and he doesn't find a lot of rings. Well, he says he finds a lot of pull tabs and not a lot of rings, but I watched him hunt the other day, and he'll let a signal go. Like if he loses a signal, he'll let it go and not keep digging in the same hole. Listen guys, the signals just got buried by like a little bit of sand, and you need to put another scoop into the hole with no sound, with no signal. So if your coil is in the hole, or you leave it like at the hole where the hole was, you just, ooh, that's a good 12-13. If you leave it in the hole, you're gonna know where the hole is, and then just put another dig in the same spot. Oh man, a ring pull for a can. This is going to be a cool spot to come do some shell hunting one day, guys, because there's some cool looking shells and stuff. How cool would it have been to come behind Ron Lord and pick up a gold ring? But that was two, you know, a 12 and a 12 and a 12-13. But both of those were lights. They were not heavies. This is so relaxing. So guys, if you see me on the beach and you don't think I know what I'm doing, here's what I am doing. I'm just wandering till I hear something, and then I'll put a notch in it. Remember, you see me hear something negative, I'll put a notch in it, and then I wander, and then I put a notch in it, and then I wander and I put a notch in it, and then I look back on all the notches and see if they created a pattern. See, I recognize patterns, and